when did you realize your confidence to become a speaker?
It was an evolving process. I decided that anything that's worth doing, and I want you to make a note of this and write it down, is worth doing badly. Ed Foreman said that. Anything that's worth doing is worth doing badly. No one comes out of the gate doing anything great. It's a learning curve that's required. And after trying and failing again and again and again, and pretty soon I found my confidence. If you want to speak, speakers speak. And I spoke scared. I spoke scared. And then I was so nervous, I said, well, I need to speak to some people that can't see my nervousness. So I spoke to elementary kids in elementary school, kindergarten. And they didn't know enough to know whether or not I knew what I was talking about. And they told the teacher, can you bring that man back who's got that funny laugh? I'm really good with children. They love me, they do. And I grew from there. But I said, I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak. And I've spoken at people, they weren't listening and they did other things. And I didn't care. I just kept on talking and going back to my coach and continuing to sharpen the saw. You know, Abraham Lincoln said, if you got 6 hours to chop a tree down, he said, I'll spend 4 hours sharpening my axe. I continued to get the coaching I needed to improve my presentation skills and how I can use quotes and statistics and humor and energy and passion and the rhythm to speaking. I'm coachable. See, most people, they're where they are now because they don't know that they don't know, and they think they know, and they refuse to be coached. And Bob Proctor had a point that most people are where they are because of ignorance. They're not willing to face the reality that their best thinking has produced the life that they now have. If they could have made more money, they would have done it. If they could have had a greater impact, they would have done it. But ego, edging God out, ego, pride cometh before a fall, stop most people from learning, from being open. My high school theme, Booker T. Washington High School in Overtown in Miami. You never find out how much you know until you find out how little you know. This is the time you got to be a perpetual learner. A perpetual learner. Things have changed so dramatically and still changing. It has not stopped. It's not stopped. And I said, no, y'all ain't leaving me behind. No, I'm coming. And Sam and Dave would say, hold on, I'm coming. Let me tell you how that song was written. Isaac Hayes and Dave Prater, they wrote that song. And Dave had to go to the restroom. And Isaac would say, come on, man, come on. I'm in a creative mode right now. Hurry up. And he said, hold on, I'm coming. Several times they said, that's the title. That's the title. Hold on, I'm coming. He was using the toilet. Let me tell you another. You know the song Midnight Train to Georgia? My former wife used to sing, and she still does. It was Midnight Plane to Houston, and they didn't like to fly. I said, look here. We don't like to fly. Do you mind, the guy's a country and western writer, changing it to train? He said, no. And we don't live in Houston, we live in Atlanta. Do you mind changing it to Georgia? No. And the rest is history. Come on. You can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you what I know. Listen, life is just, Helen Keller said it best, life is short and unpredictable. Eat the dessert first. Put yourself in a community where you can grow, where you can learn, where you have relationships with people that have resources and contacts that you don't have. So you can learn from them. That's important right now. Come out from among people that are broke. Come out from among people that don't have anything and don't want anything. Come out from among people that are argumentative and always creating some kind of drama. You don't need that. No. Driving your blood pressure up. No. No, you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be peaceful. You deserve to have the best that life has to offer. Take responsibility for the kind of life that you want. If that's you, if you're ready for a major shift, see, disruptions require transformation. We are going through a major disruption, and you don't want to try and do it by yourself. You can't do all the thinking. You need to be in a community of people that's got your back. And I guarantee you, when you join our greatness community, the culture that we have now, this culture that we're in, is designed to destroy your sense of self, to deny you, to demonize you, and have you thinking small. You were designed for greatness. You're made in the likeness and image of God. It doesn't get any better than that. You've been given authority and dominion over everything. It doesn't get any better than that. But we've been programmed to fail constantly.
Who are you and how did you become one of the best motivational speakers?
I am a speaker, a father.
Yeah.
I am an entrepreneur, I'm an author. I'm a variety of things. And I think that what allowed me to become the kind of person that I am as a speaker is because of my experience, because of my journey. And we all have journeys. And I think that the journey that you have, it has a great deal of impact on how you show up in life. And so I like a quote by Booker T. Washington, who said, "Judge a man not by what he has accomplished, but what he had to overcome for his accomplishment." And so I think because of the things that I've been through, being born in an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother in a poor section of the United States, being labeled educable mentally retarded and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade and fail again in the 8th grade, and being adopted and no college training. I think that all of those things that one would think I would become a statistic. And as opposed to doing that, I've been able to position my life to influence and motivate and inspire millions of people around the world.
It's amazing because a lot of people are thinking, oh, I have too many challenges, too many struggles, I can't succeed, I don't have any luck. So do you think we can build a luck?
We can. I think that, Pete Rose, who was a baseball icon, said that, the harder he works, the luckier he gets. And so I think that when you work, that you create things, that you are working on yourself, you do your internal work and your external work, that you're going to be able to move yourself to a place to accomplish things that will literally surprise you, and things that you weren't even setting out to do. There are things that I'm accomplishing and things that I'm doing that when I started out, those things, they weren't on my agenda, but you begin to evolve to that level.
So you are becoming another person, another level, so your
Yes,
dreams change,
yes.
your action change.
When you get outside of what's familiar, what's comfortable, what feels right, and put yourself in a position beyond your comfort zone, that will give birth to a part of yourself that you don't know right now. Because in order to do something you have never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. We all have greatness within us, but greatness is not our destiny. It is a choice that we have to make consciously to put ourselves outside of our comfort zones, to stretch and to develop ourselves and have in our environment people we can learn from and grow from that will hold us to a higher standard and that will always challenge us to go higher.
So you are saying that when we are going outside our comfort zone, we are finding ourselves.
Yes, we're discovering things about ourselves that we would never discover in our comfort zone. And so I think it was Oliver Wendell Holmes, unless you attempt to do something beyond that which you've already mastered, you will never grow. Most people don't achieve a level of mastery. Most people suffer from arrested development. They stop developing themselves, they stop growing, they stop reaching, and they literally settle in and accept life as it comes at them.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that because I started to do my first English interviews and it was very hard at the beginning. Yes, and I'm discovering a lot of things about me in doing that.
Yes.
As you are such a powerful speaker, you spoke about powerful speaking. How did you become such a powerful speaker yourself?
Well, people say that I'm a powerful speaker. I think I'm a much more effective speech coach. But I study. I believe that as you look at yourself and you have the sacred opportunity to speak to audiences, to inspire them, because at the end of the day, when we speak to an audience, there are three things that we want to accomplish. We want to change their collective thinking, that's number one, and how they see themselves and the story they believe about themselves. The second thing is that our goal is to not only change their thinking, but to broaden and to expand their vision of what's possible in their lives. And the third thing is to inspire them to become, as Mother Teresa would say, to become a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in their lives. And so I think that what people admire me for and why I received the highest award from the National Speakers Association and Toastmasters International Golden Gavel Award and was selected among the top 5 speakers in the world. I think what they admire me for is the impact that I've made with audiences achieving the objectives that I just talked about. Because when people hear you speak, the golden objective is for them to leave there feeling better about themselves and talking about the experience that you created for them to get that vision of themselves. Oliver Wendell Holmes said that once a man or woman's mind has been expanded with an idea, concept, or experience, it can never be satisfied to going back to where it was. And my goal is to, when I speak to an audience, is never allow them to be comfortable with living a life of mediocrity, of being comfortable of being average. With people who are living a level of being average, those individuals are going through life doing the things that they feel that they need to do. But when you're an entrepreneur, you're living from a place of responsibility. You go through life doing the things that you are called to do, that you see yourself answering the calling on your life, doing those things that create value for people, that will make a difference in people, and that will leave a legacy.
How many of you, since you've been here, you have gotten some value that will impact your life personally and your bottom line? Raise your hands, please. That's what it means. It consists of the wills and the will nots. In order to be successful, you must be willing to do the things today. Invest in yourself, get some coaching. In order to be successful, you must be willing to do the things today. Develop strategic relationships with people that you can learn from, that others won't do. In order to have the things tomorrow, others won't have. You're investing in yourself. You're coming here, flying here, driving here. You're taking the time to learn new strategies and how you can offset the competition. Makes you different. You're uncommon. One great American said, "I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before a master, nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done." That's why you became an entrepreneur. That's why you're here. You have the boldest and uncommon desire to control your own destiny. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on, bring it together.
How do you get ready for an important speech?
Well, one of the things that I teach in terms of preparation for a speech is find as much about the audience as possible. Who are you going to speak to? Do what I call communications intelligence. You want to get all the information about that organization, the mindset of the audience, what are the goals and objectives they want to achieve. We have a needs assessment that we will provide for you. What is it that these entrepreneurs are looking for? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What do they bring to the table of business? How do they see themselves locally and globally in the scheme of things? What is it at the end of that presentation that you want people to walk away from? And then what I do is craft a message. And in the embodiment of that message, in that presentation, in that workshop, the things that will allow them to achieve those objectives. If it's to improve their skill set, if it's to expand their attitude and their vision of themselves and what's possible for them, if it's to challenge them and to inspire them to take their lives to the next level, those will be the things that we will emphasize in that presentation, that as a result of them being exposed to that experience and the information and all of the things that I've learned over the years of doing this, that they leave there with something of value that they can sink their teeth into, that they can go and start applying it in their lives and in their businesses.
Let's talk about buried treasure and why you opened the book with this, because your story and my story has a lot of similarities, you know, and our journey, the journey that we took to being where we are today. But every author has a journey. And how has your journey actually influenced you as a best-selling author, as a business mogul and motivational speaker? How has that influenced you?
Well, being born in an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother, Wesley, and then after 6 weeks we were taken in as foster kids by Mrs. Mamie Brown. I am on this broadcast with you because of two women. One gave me life and the other one gave me love. I always say that God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. And I always quote Abraham Lincoln, who said, "All that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother." And so that being in that environment, born in that environment, but most of all, the impact and the influence of the character of my mother, her faith, her drive, her determination. I remember a reporter when I had a talk show, King World, and they paid me $5 million to do it. And the reporter asked her, "How did you know that you could raise 7 children by yourself that you've adopted as a single woman?" And she said, "I just felt that the Lord would make a way somehow." And that has driven me that I talk to people, you don't know what you can't do. You don't know enough about yourself to be a cynic. That there are things that we can do. We are more than conquerors. We're here, I strongly believe, to do the greater work. And that we don't have to operate out of the thinking of being logical and practical and realistic. I believe leap and grow your wings on the way down.
Yes.
Become risk takers. You know, we're taught to walk by faith and not by sight. And so my environment, it created within me a mindset of being unstoppable, of believing, of trusting, and living an expanded life. Most people live a small life because they have this limited vision of what's possible for them based upon the culture that they live in and the conversations that they have been exposed to, and they don't even know. It's unconscious. And so we've all had moments in our lives when we've done things outside of our comfort zone, and we say, "Wow, I can't believe that I'm doing this." Because now, when you operate out of your comfort zone, in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. That's why Paul said, "I must die daily." We must die daily to who we are, to give birth to who we are destined to become. But most people don't realize, and they don't evolve. They get on a track and they stay on that same track and never get off that particular track. And they take their talents, their abilities, their skills, their dreams with them to the grave. And so when Miles Monroe said that the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery, that's real. My best friend, when he died, he was a great cook. And he always talked about having this recipe book that he was going to have. He fixed great Jamaican and Caribbean dinners and plates. He was a master chef. And I'll never forget when I left his graveside after the funeral, a lady came up to me and said, did Alexander, we called him Boo, did Alexander ever write that recipe book? And I said, no. And she said, whoa, he took that with him. And so most people take their talents, their abilities, their skills, their knowledge, the things lying dormant in us. We were not born to be one-dimensional. We were born to do things, to experiment with life, to become a risk-taker. Viscott said, if you're not willing to risk, you can't grow. And if you can't grow, you can't become your best. And if you can't become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? I love what Mary McLeod Bethune said. Pray as if everything depends upon God, and work as if everything depends upon you. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. So you don't have to know. Do the best that you can, and God will do what you can.
Thank you so much. What an amazing answer. I have someone that just texted me not too long ago, and one of the questions he asks, he said, like Mr. Brown, I was adopted. What were the circumstances when discovering what were the circumstances when you discovered you were adopted? And how did that shape your mind as a motivational speaker? And it's a two-part. The second part is being a top motivational speaker and best-selling author your job or your purpose?
It's my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We were not born to work for a living. We were born to live our making. And making our living will earn whatever we want to earn in terms of life. I was born to speak. My children tell me I talk in my sleep. I used to get in trouble in school for talking so much. Now when I speak in the United States, I earn $70,000 an hour. There are people who work a whole month that don't earn that. And when I speak outside of the United States, I earn $225,000 an hour. So when you connect with your superpower, there are things that you're able to do that you don't even know how to do, but you will find a way to do it. When I spoke in the Georgia Dome, I'd never done that before. And people go on YouTube and put in Les Brown speaking in the Georgia Dome. They'll see me speaking before 80,000 people. That's confirmation when they see that. They can do more. Remember in the Lion King, Simba,
Yeah.
you are more than that which you have become. They realize, oh my God, if he could do that, I was labeled educable, mentally retarded, and put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade, and failed again in the 8th grade. They said I was a troubled kid, that I was touched in the head, that I run my mouth too much. Okay, and now, I mean, I get paid to speak. God be served. When I get up in the morning, I say, oh God, all things work together for good for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. And so when you, in alignment with your purpose, you will be able to do things that you don't even realize and know that you cannot do. That's why we're told to walk by faith and not by sight. We're told, judge not according to appearances. Mm-hmm. And so this is how I live my life. I didn't know I could do this. And sometimes you have to be intelligently ignorant. According to the laws of aerodynamics, a bumblebee isn't supposed to fly, but the bumblebee doesn't know it. So it just keeps on flying anyhow.
Yes. And I often say, Mr. Brown, that we're all winging it. And so we're all winging it. So one of the things I love about listening to you, and I listen to you every single day, and not too many people get my attention like that, I could tell you. Right. But you have a brilliant mind, and your ability to take a quote, one quote, and build an entire message around that is nothing short than brilliance. And one
And
of
you have
the
that gift too, because one of my favorites that you do, but God, come on, somebody. Let me tell you something. I was running around the house and accidentally fell, flipped and hit my head on my, and left myself half conscious with a hickey on my head. Shout to but God. You messed me up with that one there.
I love how you do that, how you massage a text and you massage the hearts and minds of individuals. And it's a gift, to tell you the truth.
And today I want to talk about something else. That you want to live like a warrior and die a legend. What do you mean by that? Well, one of the first qualities of a warrior is courage. You want to live your life from now on with courage. That most people take their talents, abilities, and skills to the grave with them because of lack of courage. And courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is the willingness to do what it is you need to do, what you are called to do, in spite of the fear. You don't want to live a fear-driven life because you're depriving yourself, your family, and the world that you came here to do something. That's why we're told constantly in the book of life, be of good courage. Because there's stuff that's going to happen that requires that you have courage, that you stand up inside yourself and face it and handle it. Most people in a fearful situation, they forget everything and run, but there are few that in a fearful situation, they face everything and rise with courage. And that's who you are. That's why you're listening to me now, because there's something you want to do. And when you're going outside of your comfort zone, it takes courage. Most people, the majority of people, die within their comfort zone. They're not risk takers. They go through life trying to play it safe. Let me share something with you. There's no safe position in life. If we don't know anything else, if we have not learned anything else from the coronavirus, there's no safe position in life. You can't get out of life alive. You got to die to leave here. And so this is a time that you want to live your life full and do the things that you think about. Sure, you want to keep social distancing from people and from particularly toxic, negative, energy draining people. You want to keep social distance from them. Why? Because people rub off on you. But you're here to do the greater work. You're here to do something. You've got to live life like you mean it. When I decided to speak, I went at it hard because I didn't want to be just a speaker. I wanted to be a speaker that stood out, that made a national and global impact. And you can do that too. That's why you're listening to me. You have some talent, you have some knowledge, you have some experiences, you've seen some stuff. And there's some things in you don't want to take to your grave with you. So when you live like a warrior, you live courageously, you're fearless. Here's something else. When you live like a warrior, you honor your commitment. Commitment is major. See, when you decide that you're going to do something, when you commit yourself to live a life that's different than the life that you lived in 2020, you hold yourself to a higher standard. You're seeking something. You're pushing the envelope. You are challenging yourself. You are willing to walk by faith and not by sight. And you know, as a warrior, that there's a dramatic difference between being a warrior and being a worrier. Anybody can worry, and a lot of people are worried right now. Oh, the new virus coming, and it's even more lethal and spreads easier. Okay, got that. All right. And you got to eat. You got to pay the rent, got to pay the mortgage, got to pay the car note. I learned a long time ago the best way to get back on your feet is to miss 3 car payments. Come on. Yeah, but you don't want to be reckless. You don't want to die for a job. No. No. If somebody asks you, hey, sign here, and in the event you get sick, you go on sue us. Do I look like Mr. Kadumbo? No. Create something else. Life is saying no. Don't put your life on the line saying, oh, I got to eat. I can either starve to death or I sign this and risk dying and leaving my family so they can starve without me. No. You can create something else. You have other options. Don't be limited in your thinking. I did that for years. For years. Because I knew radio, I did it extremely well. And when I was fired, I was dumbfounded. What am I going to do now? Guess what? Learn something new. That's what. If you're willing to learn. See, most people aren't willing to learn. That's why I say, well, if I don't sign this agreement, my family will die. They'll just starve to death. Are you kidding me? Come on now. No. Don't sign anything that says that if you get sick, they're not liable, because they know that there's a high risk that you might get sick and they want you to be on your own. If you don't learn anything else, remember the name Herman Cain, who was sitting on the front row at a rally, proud, no mask. When he got back to Atlanta, he had to go to the hospital. He said, no big deal. And now he's out of here 5 days later. They don't even mention his name. You talk about proud and involved on radio every day promoting the right. They don't mention his name as if he did not exist. Come on. Come on. This life is challenging us. In life, when you don't have enough courage or insight, intelligence, expanded vision, that you have outgrown a situation and it's time to move on, life moves on you. I'd outgrown radio. And now I can come on anytime I want and you can see me too. So you got to put your foot down. You got to get an attitude. Because, see, we're all basically the same. We're all basically the same. The only thing that separates us are our habits. I wanted something different for myself. I wanted something different for my mother. I did not want my mother working once I turned 18. So I made a commitment that I was going to generate enough money with my voice, with my story, in radio and then in speaking, to take care of my mother. You've got some talent. You've got something in you. There's a reason that God chose you out of 400 million sperm. You think you're just here to work on a job, pay the bills, keep a roof over your head, a car note, and then die? Come on, give me a break. No, you're here to do the greater work. You know it's true. You can deny it if you want to. I don't know how low your consciousness is. I know some people, no matter what I say, they're not going to hear me. The state of consciousness they're in, this message is not for everybody. That's why Jesus said, he who has ear, let him hear. Let her hear. And the people that can hear me, if you can hear me in your heart, not in your ear, I'm not challenging you and your hearing aid. No, I'm saying what's in your heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. When you live like a warrior, you are vigilant, you're courageous, you take initiative, you're ambitious, you have an expanded vision of yourself. You're going to take some chances on you. You're going to bet on you. You don't settle for any and everything when you're a warrior. And you got to be in fight mode. You got to be ready to fight. Life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. I'm talking to you right now. I have some challenging pain in my body. But I had to fight to rise above that to come in here and talk to you now. I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm supposed to speak. I'm supposed to motivate and inspire people at a time that we need it now more than ever in the history of this country since we've been alive. And so, courage. Work on it. Raise the bar on yourself. Challenge yourself. Decide you're not going to be the same person in 2021 that you were in 2020. And the other thing is, and this is major, consistency. When I decided to be a speaker, I disciplined myself to memorize a minimum of 3 to 5 quotes every day. I didn't have any speaking engagements. The phone was not ringing to, hey, we'd like to book Les Brown. I was preparing myself. I want you as we, in this second day of 2021, just expect things to be great for you. Expect them to be great because you're going to show up differently. You're going to be consistent. You're going to do the things that you need to do that other people won't do. You want to be a perpetual optimist. Let's get it on. Life, you caught me by surprise in 2020, but that ain't going to happen in 2021. All the euphoria is gone. You've shown yourself. Oh, no. I'm not going to get caught up in the hoopla. No. This is a fight. You've taken something from me. We've been stripped. We've been stripped of personal touch. We've been stripped of spending personal, intimate time with loved ones and family members and friends. We've been stripped of gathering together. We've been stripped of a sense of assurance and faith. You've stripped us. No. And so when we look at this, we have to embrace the newness of this life. Reason I cut my hair. I want to remind myself, when I look in the mirror, this is not the Les Brown that was in 2020. No. This is the one that's going to fight like a warrior and die a legend. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to make a greater impact. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to bring your family together. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to work on yourself. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to improve your health. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to create wealth. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to live an expanded vision of yourself, and you're going to go all in. All you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough. But make sure you do all you can do. A.L. Williams, come on now. Got to get fired up as you do at a football game or a basketball game, or you start doing a little dance in church when they start strumming the organ. Yeah, no. You want to be fired up thinking and being creative. That's how you want to get your shout on. And creating more wealth to protect yourself and to insulate yourself from the ugliness and from the poverty and from the pain that so many people are expressing. This is your time. And it can only be your time when you are willing, as you look in the mirror, when you get up in the morning, Lord, whatever I face today, together, you and I can handle it. All things work together for good, for those who love God and for those who are called according to his purpose. When you get up in the morning and you decide to live a courageous life every day, get up in the morning and you decide to make a commitment to live your greatest life. Get up in the morning in a spirit of gratitude and say, Lord, thank you for bringing me here. Thank you for dragging me into 2021. Thank you for protecting me and those I love. Thank you for the courage to go on, keep it moving, for those that did not make it, for my family members and friends that did not survive. I will live a life that will fill in the blanks for them, because I'm here because of your grace and mercy. I don't take it for granted that I'm still here. And as Orrin Hudson would say, the best day of my life. We're here. We're not taking a dirt nap. We're here. There's some people, no big deal. It's a big deal. We're here. Don't look past this. This life is to be lived. Life is for living, for being happy, for being productive. Herein my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. Much fruit. Not a life of being average or being mediocre. Much fruit. You've been chosen. Are you feeling me here? You've been chosen. You have been chosen for the greater work. And time to step it up. People who operate in darkness, they are relentless. They never stop. They don't take no breaks. They're always doing something. You get up in the morning looking at your phone and say, what happened now? Look at the news and say, oh my goodness, what's next? People who are spreading confusion and darkness and hate, they make it their full-time job to do that. And we have to make it our full-time job to fight back. We have to make it our full-time job. If they run over here, they will limp back. We have to make it our full-time job to fight for a future for our children, to live a life that will outlive us. Sometimes you got to be like Jesus was when he went in there and the disciples were drinking and playing bid whist. What? Y'all about to make me cuss up in there. Get out of here. Come on. Oh yeah. And so many people, it's easy to get relaxed. Once after all the celebration, it's easy to get relaxed. No, there's work to do. See, you've experienced some setbacks. When a car's driving, if the back wheels go the same rate as the front wheels, it will never catch up. So in order to catch up with the front wheels, you got to speed up. You can't be average. You got to put the foot to the floor. That's where we are. See, when you have lost your job, I don't know if you've experienced it, but I have. When you get 2 or 3 months behind on your bills, it takes more than 2 or 3 months to catch up. You're looking at somebody, I used to be so broke, I'd walk past the bank and trip the alarm. Oh, behave. Yeah, you want to live like a warrior. When a warrior, you in fight mode. You are willing to do whatever it takes for you to discipline yourself, to dedicate yourself, to take the initiative, to embrace the newness of your life. You're God's instrument. When you embrace the newness of your life, new habits, new choices, new behavior, new friends, you set yourself up for miracles. Miracles are things that God does for you, through you, as you, and you know it's not you. And the only thing you can say when those miracles show up, look at God. Come on now. Come on. Yes. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. This is your time. This is your time. And it requires courage. It requires commitment. It requires collaboration with like-minded people.
Now here's one second to the last thing. Let us say together, you got to be hungry. Hold this one. Hold it. Mr. Washington, Mr. Brown, what do you want to do? Well, sir, I'd like to be a disc jockey. Mr. Brown, if you want to be a disc jockey, you got to be hungry. What do you mean by that, sir? You've got to be willing to do the things that others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. He said you got to work on yourself, develop your mind. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. You got to be hungry. I said, yes, sir, I'm hungry. I want to be a disc jockey, sir. He said, is that right? I said, yes, sir. He said, start listening to Paul Harvey. Start listening to people who are effective communicators. Be conscious of what you're saying and how you're saying it. Because how you express yourself, once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. See yourself as a radio disc jockey. Start working to get sponsorship. Start creating the radio format that you want. Start developing your personality. I said, wait a minute, sir. I said, I want to be a disc jockey. I don't have a job yet. And then he quoted Whitney Young. He said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. You got to be hungry. So I started working to develop myself and developing my communication skills. I expected to have a radio program, so I created my formats. I started learning how to write commercials and do jingles. And then I came to him one day. I said, okay, Mr. Washington. He said, okay, Mr. Brown, remember, you've got to be hungry. You don't have a college degree. You have no journalism. You have no broadcasting. This is a very crowded field. It's very, very competitive, Mr. Brown. You're going to face no and rejection every day. But if you're hungry enough, the world will make a place for you. So I went to apply for a job on Miami Beach to Milton Butterball Smith, the program director. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. You have any journalism in your background? No, sir. You have any kind of broadcasting experience? No, sir, but I've been training myself, sir. Let me audition for you. Let me show you how good I am. He said, I'm sorry, we don't have any job for you. I was discouraged. I went back and I told Mr. Washington. I said, Mr. Washington, they said no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry. Go back again. I said, yes, sir. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. Weren't you here yesterday? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? Yes, sir. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was laid off or somebody was fired, sir. No one was laid off. No one was fired. I came back the next day. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 3 days? Yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 3 days? Yes, sir. Then why are you back today? Well, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. No one got sick, no one died, no one was laid off or fired. Now, don't you come back here again. I came back the next day talking loud, looking happy, like I was seeing you for the first time. Hello, Mr. Butterball, how are you? He looked at me with rage. He says, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. Sometimes you have to stoop before you conquer. You got to sacrifice before you reign. So I became the errand boy for the disc jockeys. I'll go get their lunch and their dinner, and I stand in the control room, and I would not leave until they would ask me to. Then pretty soon, they trusted me to pick up entertainers that came to town. Entertainers like Diana Ross and the Supremes and the Four Tops and Gladys Knight. I used to drive them all over Miami Beach in the disc jockeys' big long Cadillacs. I didn't have any driver's license, but I was driving like I had some. Then one day, I was at the radio station, and a disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. He was slurring his words. It was obvious he was so inebriated he couldn't complete his show. And there I was looking at him through the control room window, walking back and forth, young, ready, and hungry. I was saying, drink, rock, drink. Drink, rock. I'd have gone to get him some more if he'd asked me to. Then pretty soon the phone rang. It was the general manager, and I answered the phone. I said, hello? He said, young boy, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up. I said, now he must think I'm crazy. I called my mama and my girlfriend Cassandra. Said, y'all come out on the front porch and turn up the radio. I'm about to come on the air. I waited for about 20 minutes and I called him back. I said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, do you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and segue the records and don't say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get behind that turntable. I put on a fast record. I said, look out, this is me, LB, Triple P, Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single, love Domingo, certified, bona fide, indubitably qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. I was hungry. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you gotta be hungry. There are people who come to this country who can't speak the language and they hit the ground running because they're hungry. The people that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. The people that are hungry are willing to make it okay to fail. They are risk takers. The people that are hungry are willing to reinvent themselves, to develop themselves. They know you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. The people that are hungry have goals and practical steps that they engage in day and day out.